All right. Hello, YouTube. We are just on the tail end of our 6-hour stream of day one of the Vocation Rebalance test server. So I'm just going to do a quick summary of all the changes, my thoughts so far. Please keep in mind, this is day one. I haven't had all that much time to test. Obviously, some of my thoughts may be wrong. I may change my opinion. Things may get changed throughout the test server, so do take it with a grain of salt. But nevertheless, let's jump in and cover everything that we've seen so far. First of all, Energy Ring still consumes 3 mana point per point of damage prevented. Hasn't been changed. This was expected. We were hoping that maybe this gets lowered, but no, still is the same. Here we have a new bonus, group EXP bonus. That was unexpected. This is new. Basically, increased EXP for duos and trios. Kind of nice. Maybe trio will be a good setup right now. Unexpected. Welcome change. Maybe duos and trios a little bit better. It's not a huge change, but a good change nonetheless. Now, let's go into the Paladin changes. For the Paladin changes, we have had new stances, new spells, new ammunition. So let's talk about those real quick. For the new stances, we've got a Sniper stance and a Divine Defiance stance. The Sniper stance increases your damage against... Well, it's just 3% auto attack damage. That is doubled against non-adjacent targets. 3 to 6% for autos only, not even your spells. I mean, it's free damage. We'll take it, but, you know, whatever. And then we've got Divine Defiance, which reduces damage taken from non-adjacent targets by 5%. I mean, this is kind of nice. Like, this is a 5% damage removal while you're kiting. It's kind of... I think it can actually be viable. Either way, not a very huge thing. They're both okay, but... you know, whatever. Like, they're all right. They're all right, but nothing that crazy here. Moving on, we've got 2 new spells, Divine Barrage and Ethereal Barrage for the Paladin. 4-second cooldown. They hit about as hard as Mass San or Divine Caldera. They feel great to use. They have fairly small area of effect, kind of like it's actually like a diamond. Now it's like it's like 9. It's not 9 SQM. I think it's 13 SQM that it hits on the target. When you have this Ethereal Barrage effect area enlarged, that's when it's the same size as Divine Barrage. You're always going to want it. It's only 50 points, so you're always going to have this active anyways. It's okay. It feels very good to use. I don't think it's like super strong for high-level Paladins. It's probably worse than just being able to use the old runes, getting the charm procs. However, you can use those very nicely in a rotation with Mass San, which means you don't need to be using runes, which is what we were hoping for, and it feels great. It really does feel great. I'm not saying that, you know, it's going to be like amazing results. I'm not saying that a Paladin is going to be stronger or anything, but the feeling is better. I'm really, really enjoying it. But I do think high-level Paladins definitely nerfed overall. Okay, but feels good so far. We're going to see how they balance it across the test server, but it feels good to use those spells. 4-second cooldown is very welcome. You will never be using both of those at once because Mass San is better than both of these, so you will always be using Mass San with either Divine Barrage or Ethereal Barrage, depending on whether the hunt you're going to, whether monsters are weaker to holy or physical. So yeah, overall, good spells. We're also getting new ammunition for the Paladins. We've got a Shatterstorm arrow, which is a physical AoE arrow. It's basically a small diamond arrow from level 50 with 27 attack for 45 gold. This is very, very welcome for low-level Paladins. This is like a much better burst arrow. So low-level Paladins should be pretty cool. Happy with this. Low-level Paladins should benefit. Then we also get some elemental arrows. They have 18 attack. Diamond arrow has 38. So kind of unusable for majority of cases. You may use those at like Buried Cathedral, but you're probably not going to be using those otherwise. I mean, the 18 attack is, you know, kind of like they added it because people were asking for them, but they're not going to be very good. So yeah, so overall, we have that. We have Divine Caldera base power up. We have the Sharpshooter and Swiftfoot just used normally without the wheel. All the bonuses are used from the wheel that used to be in the wheel and now just by default, but otherwise they're not really changing all that much. So summary Paladin. Again, I don't want this video to be 1 hour long. We're gonna do very detailed videos on each vocation towards the end of the test server. Today I'm just giving you a quick overview of everything that I've seen so far. Paladin, if you are a mid-level Paladin from like level, I don't know, even from early game. If you're early game Paladin from level 50 all the way up to like level 6, 7, 800, I think the changes are nice and it's going to increase your comfort of playing. And those are overall good changes in my opinion. You're not going to be necessarily doing as much experience in every place, but in some places you'll be a bit better. In some places you'll be a bit worse. overall, okay. Comfort's going to be much higher, I think. So overall, I'm happy with those. If you're a high-level Paladin, so if you watch people like Mazarin or Vale or whatever, I'm sure they're going to be very negative about those changes because the new spells do have limited area of effect. So understandably, they're not going to be proccing as many charms. So they're going to be weaker. To be honest, we all know that high-level Paladins were very strong, so they did kind of have this nerf coming, so it's not very surprising. And yeah, if you're a high-level Paladin, you're probably going to be nerfed by a fair bit. If you're a low to mid-level Paladin, you're probably all right. I honestly don't think it's going to be a big deal. Anyway, that sums up Paladin. Let's keep moving. Now we've got Monk. So we've got Virtue of Justice rework here, plus a new spell. So Virtue of Justice rework. The most interesting change for me is that Virtue of Justice now only gives you plus 3% fist fighting for the Monk, which means that Virtue of Justice is dead for solo hunting. Loads of people always ask me which virtue you want to use. Virtue of Justice is dead for solo hunting, period. For solo hunting, use Virtue of Harmony. For team hunting, use Virtue of Justice. That's, it's at least something that answers this question that was always asked hundreds of times. Other than that, it's as expected, very, very good bonus for team hunting. Monk's going to be very, very nice for team hunting. We also have a change of this new spell, Thousand Fist Blows. It's a 12-second cooldown spell. Which is kind of nice. The area, I think it's 21 SQMs. It's like a 5x5, but without the corners. And it's slightly stronger than Flurry of Blows, slightly weaker than Chain Penance. It's actually all right. I don't know if it's going to be like the go-to spell in the rotation, but it's good. It's actually good. I'm happy with it. I think it is going to be used, but I don't know what the optimal rotation is going to be yet. We're going to have to wait and see what the ultimate rotation is going to be. It requires some testing. We also have a Flurry of Blows augment, which increases the area. So we're going to have to see how that goes. What's going to be the best wheel? I do see a scenario where Flurry of Blows with like a Sanctuary wheel, because Sanctuary has been improved now as well. Base damage, Greater Gem on Flurry of Blows might be very, very good, and that may be the go-to spender, the go-to builder. We're going to have to see. This does require a lot of testing, though. It's not something that I can just, log in and play for 20 minutes. And no, this is something that's going to require, tens of hours of testing, comparing Flurry of Blows, Augment with Chain Penance, T2 Chain Penance in the wheel with maybe Thousand Fist Blows. We're going to have to see. I think there is room for those, for different builder rotations on the Monk. Now, we're going to have to see. Overall, Monk, good changes, not going to be groundbreaking or anything. It's going to be slightly better for solo hunting, maybe significantly better for team hunting, but overall the gameplay will not change that much. Overall positive, but nothing too crazy. I mean, Monk was already pretty good anyway, right? And pretty modern Vocation. Moving on, we have the Knight. Knight, in summary, is very, very strong right now. I think he's benefiting from the changes the most so far. We've had changes to the stances where Utito is now a stance, which just means it's on by default. It doesn't clash with your etc. It's very, very nice. Some mana adjustments overall, but not a big deal. Not a big deal overall. Mana is not a problem for an EK now. You've also got 2 new spells, Shield Bash, which is a single target attack from level 18. This is very nice for low levels. It's going to be very, very nice for leveling a low level EK. And it's also pretty good for bossing because it makes the boss miss the next auto attack. So pretty okay, but nothing really groundbreaking. On the other hand, we have a Shield Slam, which is a spell that hits all adjacent enemies. It's kind of like an Exori. It's basically another box spell that lands on you. And it scales with the value of your shield, so you need to have a shield, and it makes the enemies miss the next auto attack. So you can use this every 6 seconds in your rotation, which means enemies miss 33% of the autos, which is a huge defensive buff, by the way. And I tested this, and it feels good. It has good base damage. The only negative of this spell is that it always deals physical damage. It doesn't take the elemental value of your weapon, so if you can't use physical damage at a given respawn, this spell doesn't really work. But it works well enough for majority of respawns, I think. And this is a great spell overall. Other than that, we also have the healing changes to the EK, so he heals every 2 seconds, and now it scales with shielding and magic level, and overall feels very good as well. Like, the healing is much better, sustain is better, it's simpler, you don't need to spam quite as much, and because of the changes to the mana potions, the EK can now use great mana potions for free. He can also use these better, superior, and ultimate mana potions, although they are quite expensive, because they're like those distilled versions. Overall, EK, very, very comfy. The stance changes, very good. The new spell's pretty good. So far, EK feels like the winner of the rebalance. We'll see if it doesn't get sort of nerfed a little bit throughout the test server. We're gonna have to see. One other thing worth noticing, saying because of the new spell, because of the way that Exura works now, I think there's a chance that, I think it's quite likely, in fact, that the meta for EKs will be one-handed plus shields going forward. So I've already been sharing on the stream. I do think buying out one-handed EK weapons and buying out EK shields is probably a good investment right now, because I do think that is going to be the way forward for EKs. Anyway, that's the summary of the EK so far. So far, very, very positive about the EK. Moving on, we've got the Druid. Druid, I tested out the least. I haven't been... It's solo Druid is not changing very much. There is some good perks for team hunting. I haven't been team hunting. I don't team hunt, so I'm not able to talk about it all that much. The two major changes that you're seeing, at least from the solo perspective, is these new spells of Forked Glacier and Forked Thorns. They hit up to 7 targets total and up to 6 targets total, and they're pretty good. The spells themselves are good to use. They feel good. They're quite strong, but it's not very many targets, and you can't always really use Earth or Ice at a given respawn, so you're still only kind of usually using one of those spells. So Druid, I don't know if solo is going to be all that good. He's still going to be using those nerfed runes with the lower area of effect. I don't know. Druid so far, kind of meh. Like, it's going to be stronger, sure, for team hunting. His healing is improved. But like, yeah, it's not changing a whole ton. If you're a team hunting Druid, great. You're going to get some more healing. You're going to get some more tools. It's fine. If you're a solo Druid, I don't know. You probably want to think about a different vocation. And another thing you have here is affected area enlarged for the ice wave. This is the strong ice wave. However, it's right in the top right of the wheel. So you need to invest like 600 points to get it, which would be nice. It is a nice augment, but you need to invest 600 points into a team hunting quadrant. So again, for solo hunting, you're never really going to have that. So overall, Druid, I'm not impressed so far. I would like those forks to be lowered to a 4-second cooldown, because 6-second cooldown is too long and it makes you not have a rotation with waves very well. So I would like those lowered to 4 seconds. I think that would be nice. And I would like this Ice Wave Augment to be moved to tier 1, so you could get it for 50 points only instead of 600 points. And that would already be good. And maybe add like a Terror Wave Augment to make it a bit bigger, kind of like the Energy Wave for the Sorcerer when you have the Augment and it like spreads out. I'd quite like to see that for the Terror Wave as well. And then maybe Solo Druid would be okay. If you want to play Solo Druid, right now, my feelings are don't, to be honest. Anyway, that's Druid overall. And Sorcerer, finally, we have a new spell. We have the stances. Have some changes to the Wheel of Destiny. So in summary, we have this new spell, Death Echo, which not so great. We've got this initial cast on yourself, or a target. Is it on yourself? I think it's on. Oh, it's on the crosshair. So it's like it's kind of like a rune. You select where you want to cast it anywhere on the screen, and it first hits 9 squares, so kind of like an Exori, and then 2 seconds later, it's like big into a 5x5 square. And it's okay. It deals okay damage, but it's just kind of clunky to use. Like it doesn't seem to fit very well with like this new wave playstyle that they're pushing for the MS. It feels out of place, this Death Echo. The only reason you would use the Death Echo is if you wanted to be in this Death stance affinity where you want to be using Death spells, right? Because you only have the Death Beam to use. Now you have the Death Echo, so you can actually have a Death rotation going. Otherwise, it feels kind of clunky to use. Not a fan so far. I hope they change it somehow. I don't know how. We're going to see. We're going to see how it works. It's okay. It's going to be used, in my opinion, it's only going to be used when using Death Affinity. What else do we have? We have, the stances overall feel good. I'm not going to go into all of them. It's pretty obvious how they work. Sap, Strength, Exposed Weakness, stances, very, very nice compared to how it was before. Thank you for the sub, Sancho 231. Thank you for the sub. And then you have the Master of Flames, Thunder, and Decay. This is basically has some sort of bonus to your natural spells of that type, and then changes other spells to also have that element. It feels good. Like it feels very good in the Flames and Thunder rotations, because you can have just nice wave rotations, and I'm pretty happy about that. I think it works well. Overall, I have no major complaints about the stances on the Sorcerer. They're pretty good. Then we have the Wheel of Destiny changes here for the main thing here for me that I want to talk about is the Beam Mastery rework. So we finally got the details on the Beam Mastery. And first of all, we have hits squares adjacent to your beam for 20, 30, 50% of initial damage. I think that is just way too little. Like, I don't know why 20. Like, Even if you invest 500 points into it, it's only 30%. I honestly think this is like outrageously low. Like to me, this should be like 50, 75, and 100. And honestly, then it would be really good. Then beams would actually be good. 20%. What is this garbage? It like does no damage, and it doesn't even. And then if you read the second line, it doesn't even then contribute to reducing cooldowns for other spells and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, like I was really looking forward to playing Sorcerer, but like kind of this change here that this is so little damage on those extra beams on the side. I don't know. It doesn't feel good to me. I don't like it. I wish they made it. At least you procs charms, I think. So I guess that's something. But yeah, I'm not. I think those damages here need to be tweaked. So yeah, overall, summary on the Sorcerer, I think pretty good changes. My main concern is honestly around the usability of the Death Echo. I think they need to improve the usability of that. I think the area of it is okay. I think maybe one other thing that I'll mention about the Death Echo is that they've added it's a 2-second delay, but then they've added an augment 2, which decreases the delay of the echo by 1 second. But again, that's like an investment of like 500 points or something. So again, I think I would rather they just made it a default 1 second delay, because that feels much better, and then just change that with something else. I don't know. I don't like hiding this kind of quality of life behind high investment in the wheel personally. So I would rather they change that to 1 second. So yeah, my two concerns so far on the Sorcerer is the Death Echo. I don't think it's so good. Maybe some changes there. And second change is the change to the beam mastery in the wheel. I don't know. Beams are still useless. But they're not useless. They're better. Of course, it's still better than they were. But the amount of investment again that you need to put in here to even make them usable, I don't like it. I feel like beams should just by default be free SQM wide, and just put something else into beam mastery. I don't know. This 20% is a joke. Like 20%. It feels like hits like next to nothing, right? Don't like it. Anyway, that's it. That's what I want to talk about. That's all I had for today. There's obviously some other things. I didn't want to cover everything. Like I said, I wanted to just have a quick 17 minutes. Looks like we're looking right now on my recording. It's been 17 minutes. So we've got a bit of a mid-length video where I wanted to cover my thoughts on day one. I've been playing the test server for about 4 or 5 hours. And yeah, summary. One final summary. EK, good. Monk, good, but not like groundbreaking. I think overall Monk is stronger, but just not going to be all that different. Paladin, much more comfortable. Power level, probably similar in the mid-level, probably a bit lower in the high level. Druid, better for team hunting, still good for team hunting. Solo, probably still the worst in the game. And Sorcerer, yeah, Sorcerer changes are good as well. He's going to be fun. He's going to be better. I just feel like he needs just a little couple tweaks to make him much better for solo hunting. And that's it. Those are my thoughts. And I know I'm going to get this question: who am I going to be playing after the Vocation Rebalance? Right now, again, things may change over the test server. I think right now, I'd probably go either Paladin or Knight. Probably Paladin, just because there's so many people saying Paladin sucks, Paladin nerfed, garbage, blah, blah, blah. I'd be very tempted to play Paladin and prove everybody wrong and show that he's still very, very good. So maybe we'll be playing Paladin straight after Rebalance. Make sure to tune in on my streams. Of course, we're going to be streaming all the vocations after Rebalance. And over time, we're going to be populating TibiaPal hunting places with all the new results and publishing new guides on YouTube as well. Of course, have no fear. Anyways, that's all I had for you today. Obviously, going to be covering more and more things from the test server over the coming weeks. Probably going to last a couple of weeks, the test server. Probably the update's going to be late May. Lots of things to look forward to. Overall, I'm happy. Baseline, I'm happy. And yeah, hopefully they can just make it even better. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later, everybody on YouTube.